Hi, thanks for joining me. I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Welcome to our beginner Ashtanga class. As always, if you have any injuries or ailments, it's always best to check with your doctor before you start a practice. And make sure you do any modifications that are offered if you find yourself moving into pain. Although Ashtanga is not always taught with props, I do encourage you, particularly for the beginner class, to use props if you need them. So blocks, straps, whatever you might need to find ease in your body. Let's just take a moment in a seated position just to center ourselves, taking a long deep breath in, a long letting go exhalation. Just letting your lips close lightly and begin to find the Ujjayi breath, that breath where you breathe in and out through the nose with the mouth lightly closed. Not forcing the breath, just allowing the breath, giving your mind a place of focus. And eventually, in time, the practice becomes almost like a moving meditation. The awareness moves through Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and as the chin drops down into Jalandhara Bandha, that chin lock. Now begin to add some gentle movement into the neck, just letting the head move from side to side, trying to maintain that breath. Lift your head up, stretch your legs out, bounce into your knees, and then find your way up to the front of the mat into a Samastiti position. Samastiti is like Tadasana or mountain pose. In all the standing postures, the feet are the foundation, so adjust your feet so that you feel supported, at ease, and balanced. And take a moment to find the Ujjayi breath. Your drishti is your gaze. So your drishti, your point of gaze, just straight ahead down the tip of the nose. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. If your shoulders hurt, don't lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, fold the body forward. If your hands don't go to the floor, put them on the shins or on the thighs. On an inhale, come to a flat back. As you exhale, bend the knees enough, place the hands on the floor, step back, placing the knees down and lowering through to Chaturanga. Tops of the feet to the floor, lift to a baby cobra or to upward dog. Thighs down or thighs up, it's up to you. Tuck the toes, send the hips back and up to downward dog. Now, if you find that downward dog is too much in the body, go onto your knees into child's pose. You can support the head in the hands or place the head on the fists, particularly if there's any blood pressure issues and you're feeling a bit dizzy. You might need to walk that dog out, adjusting your feet a little farther apart. We're given the gifts of 5 breaths, maybe more, maybe less, just to start to notice, how is my body feeling today? Is the weight even on everything connected to the ground, the foundation? On your next inhalation, bring the gaze and the feet back to the hands. You're in this partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Again, lifting the arms to what feels right within your shoulders. Exhale. We'll repeat this 2 more times. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold the body forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back, lower through Chaturanga. Tops of the feet, inhale, upward dog, opening that front body. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Now, if the back or the hamstrings are bothering you, perhaps moving the feet farther apart. If shoulders are bothering you, maybe the hands farther apart, perhaps even the wrists turned. The eyes are open throughout the Ashtanga practice. Here, the gaze is towards the wall behind you or towards your navel. The breath flows freely. Your breath tells you the story of you. Inhale, bring the gaze and the feet to the hands. It might be 1 step, it might be many steps. You're in the partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, coming up, shoulders drawing lightly down. Exhale, Samasthiti. Last time. Inhale, arms engaged. Exhale, body folds. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back. Lower through Chaturanga. Tops of the feet to the floor, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, or remember the option of child's pose. Walk it out. Notice how you're feeling. Is the weight even on everything connected to the ground? Think about the breath. The practice becomes like a moving meditation. This is meant to be a healing practice, even though it's a strong practice. Try to practice kindness to yourself, non-harming. Your next inhalation, bring your gaze and your feet back to your hands. You're in the partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. If you need to walk your hands up the legs, that's what you do. Inhale, coming up. Exhale. Surya Namaskara B, the knees bend. Now, if there's pain in the back or hamstrings, move your feet farther apart. Arms come up. On your next exhalation, fold forward. If halfway is enough, that's where you go. You inhale to that half fold. Exhale, step back through plank or tabletop, lowering down to Chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Open the chest, tuck the toes, downward dog. Your left foot turns to the left and your right foot comes forward. Now you could even reach back and help yourself or stand up and place yourself here. Arms up if the shoulders aren't bothering you. An exhalation brings you down. That left knee can come to the floor, then the right. Lowering down. Tops of the feet to the floor, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Now, same thing, other side. The right foot turns right. The left foot comes forward. Coming up, trying to square the hips so you protect the back. Finding the strength in the core of the body. Coming back down, remember, right knee can go down, left knee can go down, lowering through. Upward dog, opening that front body. Downward dog. Really exploring your positions. What is this asana trying to teach you today? Remember, if you do the same thing over and over again, you start to get the same results. We start creating habits. So don't be afraid to explore. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands in that partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Knees bend. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samasthiti. 2 more times. Knees bend. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, part way up. Adjust your feet if you need to. Exhale, step back. Lower through Chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot pivots, right foot comes forward. Breathing in as you come up. Remember, take more than 1 breath if you need to. Breathing out as you come down. Place that knee down if you need to. Upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right pivots, left forward. Coming up. Body is strong. Mind follows the breath, coming back down. Try to keep the neck strong by keeping the neck in line with the spine. Upward dog, downward dog. Taking those gifts of those breaths where you can find, where does my body need to be today? Understanding clearly that each time we come back to our mat, it's a whole new experience. Our bodies are not the same from moment to moment, from breath to breath. Inhale, gaze and feet back to hands in the partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Knees bend. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samastiti. Last time. Knees bend, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, long spine, including your neck. Exhale, step back through chaturanga, however you get there, as long as you're not moving through pain. Upward dog, back bends come from the strength of the legs. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot pivots, right foot comes forward. Coming up, the weight's even on the hips, front knee above front heel for stability. Exhale, coming back down through chaturanga. Upward dog, open that front body. Exhale, downward dog. Right pivot, left forward. Inhaling up, shorten the stance if you need to. An exhalation brings you back down the way that benefits you. Inhale, come up. Exhale, roll back. It's not about how fast you can go. It's about being mindful, starting to notice. Noticing what you notice. Creating change in the body, in the mind. Trying to let go of expectations, the way we think it should look, and working the practice from the inside out. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands. Exhale, fold the body. Bend the knees. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, Samastiti. Padangusthasana, the feet move at least hip-width apart. Knees bend. Pointer finger, middle finger under the big toes, thumb touch. Elbows bend. If you're not dizzy, you can drop the head and begin to straighten the legs. If there's pain in the back or hamstrings, move the legs farther apart. The neck is free. The foundation again is the feet because we're standing. Think about how you work foundationally from the ground up. Neck is relaxed, eyes are open. Padahastasana, straighten the arms, bend the knees, hands go under the feet, fingers point to the heels. Now for some of you, you may need the feet farther apart. The elbows bend. You can drop the head if you like. As you begin to straighten the legs, adjust the feet accordingly. The neck is free. Explore all the pressure points on the palms, on the soles of the feet. This does also challenge your balance. Know that where there's pain, we need to make adjustments. It doesn't mean stop. It means make the adjustments you need to make. Now bend the knees, straighten the arms, place the hands on the hips, and bring yourself back up to standing Samastiti. Uttita Trikonasana, step out wide, turn one foot out, the other foot in, extend the arms. Extend over the legs. You can bring that right hand to the shin and the left arm up. If the shoulders hurt, take that hand, place it on the hip or in the low back. If you need to use the props, use the block. Don't shy away from props. They can help us find stability, which allows us to work into strength as well as flexibility. Your gaze, and the block can be on the inside or the outside of the foot. Where do you feel you need it? Keep breathing. And inhalation brings you back up. Pick the block up if you're using it. Switch hands. Turn your feet and take yourself down to the other side. You can look up, straight ahead, or down. Now, if you're using the block, I'm not sure if you can see, but my wrist is jammed into the block. Use it for some lightness, not just to support the entire body. In Trikonasana, we're trying to lengthen top and bottom half of the body equally and be connected here at the core of the body, being mindful that this straight leg isn't locked. An inhalation brings you up. Pick the block up if you are using it. And then you begin to turn your feet. Remember, I will forget to tell you to breathe. I highly encourage you to keep breathing. Once your hips are centered, the body starts coming forward and you can reposition your feet. You want your hips squared in this case so that you can move torso around spine, and there's stability in the back, in the hips. Adjust your foundation if you need to. You can keep the hand on the low back. You can have it extended out to the side, or you can bring it up. But think this twist does not originate in the upper back. Keep breathing. Bring yourself down, come up, and turn. So the beauty of Ashtanga is we do it one way, we do it the other way, and we have the opportunity to see the differences on each side of the body. If you find that the prop or your hand on the outside of the foot is too challenging, you can always have the hand on the inside of the foot. The beauty of the blocks is that they do change height. Remember, if the hips aren't squared, where is the twist coming? The idea is that you are paying attention to what this particular asana is meant to be teaching you in your body. Use your breathing. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't do it because I'm saying to do it. An inhalation brings you up. You reset back at Samasthiti, and you take that time just to check in. Inhale, step out wide to the right. A little bit wider this time, right foot out, left can be at 90 or in. Groin drops, knee above heel. You can rest the elbow on the thigh if you like. You can take the arm down. You can use the props. You have the hand on the inside or the outside, and the leg gives you feedback to allow the torso to rotate around the spine. From that left heel all the way up, there's a straight line of energy. The idea is to keep the neck strong rather than just letting it hang. Think about neck in line with the rest of the spine. Don't just hang out on that prop. Use your strength. Inhale, bring yourself up, and then you turn your feet. On the other side, you may find that you need to shorten the stance. Instead of just swinging the hip and going over, think about, what is this asana trying to teach me? I open my foundation wider, groin drops, pelvic floor lifts. As I lean over, I visualize the straight line in my spine, which includes my neck. The arm presses into the leg, allowing the torso to rotate. And I don't feel my back because I'm connected top and bottom half right here at the core. Gaze up, straight ahead or down. Where do you need it? The arches of the feet lift. Inhale, come back up, straighten that leg, and again, you're turning your feet. Now the Parvrita, like in Trikonasana, is the rotation. So here, in a perfect world, that back foot's at an angle, the right foot's pointing straight ahead, the hips are squared, and you start that rotation by moving lower spine first. You can lean, you can bring the elbow or the shoulder to the outside of the knee and the hands meet in prayer. The back heel, if you need it to, can lift. The back knee can also be down. Keep your breath. Know why you're doing what you're doing. As you inhale, come up. And as you exhale, turn to the other side. So because it's standing, you set the foundation first. You create stability through the mid part of the structure, the hips. You start to do front hip back, back thigh forward as you move into the twist. And you may even find that this is your variation of the twist today. Some of you, instead of bottom up, widen the stance, twist, twist, twist. It might be elbow or shoulder, palms pressed together to open the upper back. Head turns. Again, it can be heel up or knee down. Gaze to the side, down, or up to the elbow. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. And as you inhale, bring yourself back to the front of the mat. Prasarita Padottanasana A, step out wide. The outside edges of your feet are parallel. Bend from the hip creases, send the hips back. Now, as I do that, I know that I needed to shorten my stance. You may find that elbows on thighs, neck in line with the spine is as far as you want to go. Otherwise, you can start to drop your hands to the floor, bend your elbows to right angles, and begin to straighten your legs. Think about your wrists being below your elbows being in line with your shoulders, as though you could hold one of the blocks between your elbows. The neck is long and free. The arches of the feet are working. The toes are not gripping the mat. Remember, if you're dizzy, you should be only halfway with your knees bent. Now begin to straighten the arms, lift the hips, place the hands on the hips, and use the strength of the legs to bring you up to standing. Release the arms to the sides. Arms lift to shoulder height as you inhale. Place the hands back at the hips. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. So I bend my knees so I can get that connection of ribs to thighs. This shows me how far apart I need my feet. I drop the glutes. If I'm not dizzy, I drop my head and begin to lift my hips. And as I do that, I know I need to move my legs a bit farther apart. The breath is present, the eyes are open, and there's no strain in the neck. The neck is smooth. I'm thinking Mula Bandha, that root lock at the base of the spine, just that tiniest awareness there. Don't overdo. Try to remember that less is more. As you come up, don't lock your legs. Come all the way up and release the arms. Arms come up as you breathe in. As you exhale, interlace your hands behind the backs. Touch the palms almost together and straighten the arms. This is where you may find that if your shoulders are tight, you will have way more movement through the shoulders by squeezing the shoulder blades by using a strap. Bend the knees, send the hips back. If halfway is enough, be content there. Otherwise, head down, arms up. And if you need to move the arms farther apart, move them farther apart. The neck is free. The breath is telling you the story of you. The weight is even, big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel on each foot. As you come up, don't lead with your head. Use the strength of the legs, keep the arms lifted, and exhale, release the hands to your hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold the body forward. Keep breathing. You can be halfway, or you can take the peace fingers under the big toes. Thumbs touch those two fingertips. Elbows bend. If you're not dizzy, head can drop, the elbows stay bent, and you begin to straighten the legs. Straight is what is straight for you, not what is straight for me. Reposition your foundation, which is your feet, if you need to. Truly understand why you're doing what you're doing. Let your necks go. Don't thrust those chins. Now, on an inhalation, straighten the arms. Bend the knees if you need to. Exhale, place the hands on the hips. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, step back, reset in Samastiti. This is where you check in with how you're practicing. Now bring your hands behind your back so that the palms are together in prayer hands. If that's not possible, hold your elbows or touch knuckle to knuckle. Your right foot steps around, it's pointing straight ahead. The left foot is at a slight angle. The hips are pointing straight ahead. This is not a twist. The body folds halfway forward. Put a micro bend in the front knee so that you can send your hips up and back, similar movement to how you would in downward dog. And this does show me I need to adjust my feet. My chin is thrusted, my neck is over arch, so adjust your neck. Some of you will be able to go all the way forward.
Some of you may prefer to have a block and use the hands on the block and leave the arm movement out right now. Imagine that I gave you a block to hold between the inner upper thighs, finding the strength in the legs. Remember the importance of both strength and flexibility. Inhale, bring yourself up, and then you turn your feet. You do the same thing other side. Body fold halfway forward. Now readjust your feet. If you can't get the actions through the center of the structure, good chance the feet are in the wrong position. Weight is even on both feet. Notice sensations in the body. Where do you feel it on this side compared to where you felt it on the other side? Fully understanding that the issues in our tissues are not the same from side to side, breath to breath, or day to day. Your next inhalation brings you up. Exhale, reset, in Samasthiti, check in. Now as you move into the balance portion, use a wall, use a strap, use what you need. Set your foundation, your feet. The weight goes to the left, you lift the right. Lift the foot off the floor if you like. It is a forward fold, so you're trying to come forward. You can hold the back of your thigh. You can hold the calf. Some of you will be able to keep the leg straight and hold the foot. If your knee is bent and you're grabbing your foot, perhaps you need to let go of that idea that I have to hold my foot and understand that to create change through the body, through the hamstring, maybe you need to hold somewhere else. Within time, getting to the foot. This left hand can be on the thigh, on the hip. Now an inhalation brings you up. The hip is ball and socket, so move the hip in the socket. You can keep the hand on the knee, on the back of the thigh. Some of you may be able to hold the foot and begin to straighten the leg. Your gaze goes the other direction. Some of you may have your toes on the floor. Wherever you are, give yourself credit for being in the practice, being on the mat, finding contentment, not always seeking more. Bring yourself back to the center. Fold the body forward. Leg might be bent, might be straight. Come up and extend the leg. Now, if I have my leg all the way up here, but I'm leaning back, I'm in a back bend. I have no core action happening. I am much better to be here with the leg down. Hips are even, so I'm keeping my body strong. Perhaps you retract, so bend, and begin to straighten the leg, and you may support it. You may let it go. Your mind may say, I can't do it anymore, so bend the knee and extend the leg again. Don't lean back. Flex the foot, bring it down, and walk it out. Other side, and I'd like to say same thing, other side is what I was going to say. But again, recognize that from side to side, we're different. I want to just fling my hip out, but I need this strength, this awareness to how does my body move? And how do I allow it to move? And why do I allow it to move that way? When the mind can ride those questions and ride the breath, we stay present. When we're present in what we're doing, the risk of injury is not as great. An inhalation brings you up. Again, move the hip in the socket, take it to the side. Might be down. What is your tendency to lean? Shoulders, are they even? Remember, the idea is to heal our body, to find its greatest strength. And when we learn to do this on the mat, it does transfer into our daily life. Bring the knee back, fold forward. Perhaps you straighten the leg, or somewhat straighten. Bring yourself back up, stretch the leg out. What do you need to do? Support it, extend it, release it, point it. When the mind says enough, retract and straighten. Flex and release. Walk it out if you need. Reset, Samasthiti. Check in. Inhale, arms and gaze as we move through that vinyasa.
Vinyasa means connecting movement to breath. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back, try to keep the neck strong, so don't hang the head. Lower through chaturanga. Lift to upward dog. Keep the glutes working, just not overworking. Exhale, downward dog. As you inhale, bring your feet between your hands. Bend the knees. So if the back hurts, move the knees farther apart or the hamstrings are tight. You can come up, place your hands on thighs, on hips, extend the arms, turn the pinky fingers up slightly, lift the arms if you like, keeping the neck with its natural curve, look up, send those hips back, lift the 10 toes up, find your breathing, find your breath. You're allowed to smile. And while I say we hold for 5 breaths, sometimes we hold 15 breaths. The idea being that these postures are in a sequence building towards the next posture. And think this posture is preparing us for the seated Navasana posture, breathing. Take one more breath in, one more breath out, breathe in, breathe out, fold forward. If halfway is where you need to go, be content there. Lift the hips, inhale, part way up. Place the hands down, step back through plank or go to tabletop. Lower through chaturanga. Don't do these chaturangas if they're causing you sheer pain. Inhale, upward dog. Remember, it's not a push-up. You're moving the torso through the hands, creating that space in the back. Exhale, downward dog. Walk it out a bit if you need. Virabhadrasana A or Warrior One. The left foot turns slightly out. The right foot comes forward, and you bring yourself up to standing. So the idea is the hips are pointing straight ahead. It's not a twist. So adjust the feet so that you can adjust the hips. And while they may not be perfectly straight, you understand why you're doing what you're doing. What is the alignment you're looking for in your body? It's not that you can't do a back bend in warrior pose, but in Ashtanga, there's not a back bend in this primary series. Shoulders down, arms up, shoulders drop. Big toe mound, little toe mound roots, center of the heel. Neck is long. If I was to interlace my fingers behind, I could really open up. Connect top and bottom half at the core. Feel the actions. The legs are strong. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't do it simply because I'm telling you to. Now straighten the front leg. Turn your feet. So you might want to lower your hands. Same thing other side. Set the foundation. Realign the center of the structure. The shoulders. Lift the arms if it's a day to lift the arms. But keep the hands on the hips if that's better for you. Know that the legs are working. Often as the body starts to twist and turn, you know that the legs are not working, and perhaps you're just hanging out in your flexibility. Feel these serratus muscles working. Know why you have your arms up and what your arms are doing. Feel strength there. Fingers might be spread, they might be together, palms might touch. You know you better than anyone, and if you don't, this is the time to get to know yourself. Now the arms open parallel to the floor. Again, readjust your feet. The cue is often given from the arms, but the alignment comes from the ground up. The gaze of the drishti goes to the hand over the bent knee. The action is the legs draw towards each other so the energy moves up the spine. If the bottom's sticking out, often there's pain in the low back and we're disconnected at the core of the body. The head does turn, but make sure as the head turns, the neck doesn't feel like snake bite. It feels like it's getting strength built into it. Now straighten that leg, turn your feet so you can come on to the same position in the other side. The weight is even in both feet, and the tendency is to take all the weight out of the back leg. That back foot can be at 90 or slightly turned in. Shoulders drop. If it's hurting to turn the head, why turn it? Look straight ahead. So I can see over my shoulder that some of you are sticking your butts out. Some of you are thrusting your chins. Find your strength. Now, as you move into chaturanga, do it slow. Bring that back arm up. Lift the heel. Adjust so that as you come down, you feel the strength in your body. Try to keep the neck in line with the spine so you're building strength. Lower through chaturanga. Lift to upward dog. Do the action. Don't just push up. Downward dog. Walk it out. Now, as we come into the seated portion of the practice, come down to seated however you like. Moving into Dandasana, straighten the legs, place the palms beside the hips. Now, this is where some of you, if you're really leaning back, these blocks or a blanket can really help you. So you sit up on it and you shift forward. The block will pop up perhaps a bit. If hamstrings are tight, the knees might bend. Feet and knees equal distance apart. Do what you need to do. The chest lifts and the chin drops, lengthening the neck. Breathing here. Spread your toes. When we come to a seated position, the foundation is no longer our feet. So often we don't use our feet like we did standing. As you inhale, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, tip forward into Paschimottanasana, the seated forward fold. And again, it could look like this. You can clasp the toes just like you did in Handgustasana at the beginning. Some of you will have straight legs. Don't be afraid of a bit of movement just to release hips and low back. An inhalation brings you up. Remember the actions. Keep the body strong. It should be a lot of work. Change the hands. Grab the outsides of the feet. Press the thumbs away. Fold the body forward. Now, often it's said drishti towards the big toes, and you see the necks all strained. You can drop your gaze and then roll your eyeballs towards your big toes, working into the eyes themselves. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Exhale, release. Cross the legs, place the hands down, lean and lift. Build this core strength. Parsvattanasana or inclined plane. The knees bend, the feet come to the floor. The hands behind. Bend the elbows. Draw the shoulders apart. Lift the hips. So often if the heels are tucked back, you feel the pressure in the knee. If the heels are forward, you feel the pressure in the hamstrings. But when the heels are below the knees, you feel the strength, the stability. The neck is in line with the spine. You're always welcome to go into the full expression of the posture if you know it. Keep your breath. When you come down, slowly bend the elbows, draw the bottom back, cross the legs the other way, and spark. If it's in your practice to vinyasa, the vinyasa is to come to chaturanga, lower through, lift through, and roll back, downward dog. Keeping your breath. Walk it out. As you come down to a seated position, we'll move to Jana Shashasana A, where the left leg is straight and the right knee bends. Readjust your glutes. So foundationally, you want the hips to be straight ahead so that you can draw the left hip back, draw the lower right abdominals across, and fold the body forward. You might need the knee to bend, a little or a lot. You can hold the foot. If you do use the straps, use the straps. Know that your grip on your foot has a relationship, or should have a relationship, to what you're doing in the shoulders. The right foot sole can always roll up, but the weight is as even on both sides of the body as possible. An inhalation, you draw that left hip back, press the left big toe forward, and you get the second portion of the twist. Release, the left leg is straight, you cross, and you spark. And you switch sides, right is straight. Adjust the glutes. So set the foundation and take the body forward. Same thing, both sides of the body, understanding that it probably will feel quite different. If the neck is strained, think about the compression
And even cupping your hand over your neck shows you that natural curve in your spine. If you're hanging out, I mean, at least you're working, but if you can actually engage the actions and know why you're doing what you're doing, fully understand the cueing that you give yourself. If all the weight is over here on the right hamstring, the risk of injury is great. You want to build both strength and flexibility. Bring yourself up as you breathe in. Release the right leg straight, so cross right leg in front. This helps equalize your hips. Again, you can spark or move through the vinyasas. As we move to Marichiasana A, the left leg is straight and the right knee bends. Now, you may find that as you bring the right shoulder into the knee, you might need to move that right foot out. The weight isn't necessarily perfectly even on the glutes, but you even out the foundation as much as you can. You can stay right here, hands together in prayer. Marichiasana is all about opening hips and shoulders. Some of you may be able to bring the right arm around the right leg and the left hand behind the back. This is not a twist to the left. You are trying to imagine looking in the mirror, seeing your shoulders being straight. This is a forward fold, so you drop forward. You may need to bend that left knee. Now, if you feel that you really need the prop, you hold the strap, and you don't just hold there. You try to walk the hands towards each other, which might mean readjusting your foundation. An inhalation brings you up, lift the sternum. Exhale, release. So right knee drops down, left crosses in front, and you spark. And you repeat the other side. Right leg straight, left knee bends. Left shoulder to the inside, then try to reposition the foundation. So walk that left foot out. You can stay palm to palm. You can bring the hands around, folding forward. And if you're thrusting your chin, because I know some of you are, just keep the neck in line with the spine. Remember, you can bend the knee. This gives me a way deeper release through my hips and my low back today. Right shoulder forward, left back might mean readjust that left foot. Inhale, bring yourself up, that pause. Exhale, release, spark, or vinyasa. You're building that core strength. Marichiasana C, left leg straight, right knee bends. Opposite hand, so left to right, right behind. Not to lean back on. This hand is not pulling. It's used as a bit of resistance. If you're really leaning back, take the right foot, slide it forward, and see if that allows you to sit up. If this right knee keeps dropping out, maybe you actually need to move the foot out. Feel the torso rotate around the spine. Head can turn, but think the benefit of turning the head is to strengthen it, not to compress it. Feel your breath. Again, not forcing the breath, but allowing the breath to tell you your story. We often hold our breath, not just in the practice, but in life. Bring yourself back to the center, spark, and switch sides. Right is straight, left is bent. Again, as you move into the twist, some people do lean back so that they can twist, then reposition as they sit up. Some people move the leg out, sit up, and move it in. Know why you do what you do. If the hand is in the back body, you're noticing the breath move into the back body. Let your breath be present. This whole practice becomes a moving meditation. Bringing yourself back to center, spark. You can vinyasa if you like. If you were sitting on a block, slide the block out. If tailbone and low back hurt, you can sit on a blanket or double up your mat. As you move into Navasana or boat pose, think you don't want your boat sinking. The foundation now shifts and changes. If this is enough, you can stay here. Some of you will be able to lift the feet up off the floor here. Some of you may find that sliding the hands under the legs here helps. Use your breath. You can hold the calves. You can see I'm leaning back, so I may need to lower the heels.
Lift out of the foundation, reposition. Go to where you can go. Strong arms, not just letting them dangle. Now cross, draw the thighs in and keep them in as you lift and come back up. Keep your breathing. Keep your breathing. Neck is long. There's that natural curve in it. You can always keep your hands here. You can bend the knees. Know why you're doing what you're doing. If you find yourself sinking, you're losing that core strength. Spark, cross your legs the opposite way if you can. And we'll do one more. Remember, if you're back here, you need to question, why are you doing that? If you're thrusting your chin, get the neck in line, be strong. You can do it heels on the floor. This is a lot of work for me. So really understand what makes you work the hardest and do that. Sometimes our biggest challenge in this practice is knowing when to back off. From here, you can spark. If you do want to vinyasa, by all means, move through the vinyasa, but know why you're doing it. If it's causing you pain in the wrists and in the shoulders, sometimes you are better off to leave the vinyasas out. Don't do them all. Come into Baddha Konasana. So again, if you're here, you may need to sit up on this block for that action of lifting the hips to tilt the pelvis. The thumbs roll the foot soles open, so you're working into ankles, tops of the feet. The elbows are in close, opening the shoulders, neck in line with the spine. And as you start with the elbows in, you may want to slide them out, but know why you're doing it. Bring yourself up, extend the legs out, reposition the glutes, and take the body forward. So again, you could be here, you could be here. Some of you will hold the legs, some of you hold the toes. If there's no weight on the glutes, question, am I practicing with my ego and moving only towards flexibility? If the legs are locked and the heels are up, press the heels slightly, bend the knees. Breathing, breathing. Inhale, bring yourself up, pause. Exhale, release. Spark. Now bring yourself down on the mat. So if that means doing a vinyasa, by all means do the vinyasa. Bring your knees into the chest. Reposition your head. Place the feet on the floor. Extend the right leg up. Grab the right big toe with your right hand. If you can't do that, use the strap in the right hand. If the back doesn't hurt, straighten the left leg. If you're hiking that right hip, try to draw it downwards so you're creating stability at the center of the body. If you can peel the torso up off the floor without swinging the hip up, do that. Torso comes down. Knee, so you'll probably figure out this is just like standing balance. Hip is still ball and socket, so bend the knee and take the knee out. The head can turn to the left. Some of you may prefer holding the back of the thigh and beginning to straighten the leg, but try to drop the hip down. Keep some stability. The leg comes back to the center. Torso comes up, hip drops down. Head comes down. Leg goes straight down if the back doesn't hurt. Otherwise, bend the knee and put the foot on the floor. Bring the knees to the chest. Switch sides. Right down, left up. Straighten that leg if that feels better. You can always hold the calf or the back of the thigh. Again, there's a tiny micro bend in the leg, so it's not locked. Torso comes up. And again, remember, if it comes up and you're just striving for that flexibility, so much better to have that awareness where can I strengthen my body? When there's both strength and flexibility, we have sustainability, where we can practice for much longer. Torso down, knee bends, out to the side, open the shoulders. Is the weight even on every part of the body connected to the ground? Check in with your foundation. Are you grounded? Are you connected to the ground supporting you? Bring yourself back, leg up, torso comes up, right palm on right thigh or on the floor or here. What do you need? Torso down,
leg down, knees bend, thighs into the chest, rock it out. Again, you can move through a vinyasa if you like. As you move into the hip lift, if there's something under your head, take it out. Reposition so you have the natural curve of your spine, which also includes your neck. Palms to the floor, lifting up into your hip lift. And again, often the cue is heel below knees. Reason being, if the heels are tucked in, this is a lot of pressure on my knees. If the heels are here, it's a lot of pressure or strain on the hamstrings. But when the knees and the heels are in line, you have more strength. Each body is different, so you do what you need to do. The shoulders roll under, squeezing the shoulder blades. It is a back bend, so use your glutes without overusing them. The center of the chest moves to the chin. If they touch, the neck flattens. So the chin moves away, the hips lift, and you have freedom in the neck, the natural curve. You lower down, you pause, let the knees rock or bring the thighs to the chest. You can repeat it once more if you like, or some of you may prefer, if it's in your practice, not a good time to learn it, coming up into the wheel. Again, know why you're doing what you're doing. Is the weight even on everything connected to the ground? You come down with control. You pause, bring the knees into the chest, rock it out. You can roll to the side or you can rock yourself up. You can move through one more vinyasa if you like. Again, why are you doing it? Is it building strength or is it practicing from the ego? Bring yourself back down. Move into the last three closing postures. You can sit cross-legged, one leg in front of the other, half lotus. Try to challenge yourself. You can sit full lotus. The hands come behind the back. Some of you will reach your feet. Some of you will hold your elbows. Some of you will hook your fingers or hold your wrists. The chin drops down. You curl forward. So squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals. Bend from the rib cage. Drop the head. The eyes are open. The chin lock might be engaged. The breath is present. You bring yourself back up. Extend the arms with the palms up. Touch the thumb and index finger. Extend the other three. Sternum lifts, chin drops, eyes are open. Connecting at the center of the body, finding the ujjayi breath. Rekindling that internal flame. Warming the body from the inside out. So you are in charge. Releasing hands down. Lifting to Utplutihi, flex your feet, squeeze your knees in if you're in lotus. You can always lower down and lift back up. If the arms are locked, this is where I lift. But if you soften, you have greater strength. Don't thrust your chin. Roll the drishti forward to where the floor and the baseboard meet. Lower yourself down. Release. You can move through one last vinyasa if you like. Or you can stretch your legs out, bounce into your knees, and lie yourself down on the mat. As you lie down on your mat, find your most comfortable position for Shavasana. Take a deep breath in, a long, loud, letting go exhalation. The ujjayi breath is surrendered. You find yourself back at your normal breath, whatever is comfortable for you. The mind rests within the heart. Inhaling peace, exhaling release, lying in gratitude to yourself and to your body for the gift of time you've shown yourself today. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you need to be there, showing yourself some loving kindness. I thank you for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Namaste. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And at 11 a.m. today, we put up Gentle Yoga for Balance with Daria. Always remember to rehydrate your body. Have a great day and we'll see you next time.